Hi there, it's Jo here from Creative Empowerment. We're here today with a pick a card reading. There's going to be two sections to this video. There's going to be this video creation or the making of the intuitive image that you will have seen in the thumbnail. That's going to be a separate video, which you can choose to watch if you would like. Today we're looking at what you need to hear, and we're sort of delving in a different energetic way, but it's hard to describe how that is. So you can see here the three choices that you have. And you've got pile number 1, which has got lots of strong movement in it. There's, you know, that really strong red element, balanced out with the green. And as I'm talking about this, I'm becoming a little bit breathless, and I don't recall what was happening while I was creating it. So again, if you're interested, there's another video you can watch. So if you're being called to the energy of pile number 1, then you can jump ahead to your reading. And just remembering that if you would like to book a private reading with me, there is a link in the description box below. And don't forget to follow me over on Facebook. There is a post each week that you can go into the draw to win yourself a private reading with me. If you are being drawn to pile number 2, yeah, there's a strong sort of blue aspect to this, balanced out by the orange and the red. And the backs of my lungs are really drawing my attention at this point, almost like a breathlessness, you know, a fright even. So, and interestingly, this image has been flipped from when I created it. Again, you can see the creation of the image in another video. Then we have pile number 3, and very, very different energy from the first and the second piles. We have, you know, lots of green and lots of red, and then a touch of pink. Now, my hips, in this particular pile, my hips are clenching, and I feel like my body is lopsided. And that's sort of the thing that I'm getting there with pile number 3. So when you know which pile or piles are calling you, because you may feel called to more than one, there are timestamps in the description box below. As always, please like and follow this channel or subscribe to this channel. And if you follow me over on Facebook, there is a weekly draw to win a half-hour reading with me. If you would like to enter that, you certainly can. When you know which pile is calling you, jump ahead to your reading or readings, and I'll see you there. Hi there, pile number 1. This is your reading today, all about what you need to know. So this is your image here that you've selected from the thumbnail or from the beginning of the video. Now your image, the sort of standout message from Spirit is you have something to do. Now I think you're probably someone who knows you have something to do, pile number 1. It's something bold. There's a purpose for you being here on this earth. You may be quite confused about it. You may not yet know what this is. You may feel like you have started in a direction and then it has stopped. You may feel like there's been multiple things that are calling you. And there may be quite a lot of confusion, and I'm pulling in at my hips again. And when we did the start of the video, I felt lopsided. I don't feel that way anymore. But now that I'm talking about the energy of this group, it's changing. There is a clear direction for you in life. However, you may not feel it because I feel like you're someone who might lose focus, and that could be that you get distracted by your own family, your social life, your relationships. But because this is a group reading, there is no clear direction of what that is for you. But I do feel like you have a clear direction, but I also feel like you're someone who's very easily distracted. So that is the message that's coming quite loud and clear from the image now that it's related to the reading. So I don't recall what it was that I talked about. There'll be a link in the description box below to the later video, which will be an expanded version. You can watch it. I'll probably, you know, speed it up a bit so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Anyway, let's get stuck here, or let's get stuck into what we're looking at. So I talked about you being someone who has a purpose for being here. And I almost want to yell, you have a purpose for being here. And this could be why you get distracted. This could be why you feel frustrated in life. This could be why you feel like you're going nowhere, you know, like you're not hitting the mark. You're not doing what other people are doing. Like, you know, you have a divine mission or a divine purpose. And this doesn't have to be that you end up, you know, standing in front of a lot of people and doing whatever you do. But you won't see the ripples until, you know, until people tell you. It's like there are ripples in the pond, and your drips that are coming in for you are going to be the thing that changes things for other people. But you may not see your contribution to begin with, because I feel like you're somebody who perhaps camouflages themselves and makes yourself fit in because you've been told to, which reminds me very much of, I'm a Capricorn, and, you know, a Capricorn's all about structure, all about discipline, all about doing the right thing. And it gives me that feeling of feeling constrained by the world that you're living in, perhaps parental figures or some sort of authority figure has been the person or the driving force to keep you pulled in. And it could be yourself. It could be your natural inclination to want to please other people or want to fit in or whatever this is. So there is an element for you about camouflage. And what does that say? It says, stay undercover right now as there's a lot going on around you. But if you really look at this camouflage card, it is drawing you to something. So if you have a look at the center of this card, you're being drawn, and there's 3 directions. So there's actually 6 points that I'm being drawn to. Actually, there's only, you know, there's 6 points I'm being drawn to. Now, my chest has just become really quite heavy here. So this may feel to you like it's a burden. This may feel to you like it's very, very serious, that there's no playfulness here, that it's, I just want to say, a burden again. So there could be this feeling, you know, you may have known this from an early age, that you're here to do something and you have no idea what it is, but there's this, you know, either guiding light or driving force or little thing in the back of your mind that says, I know I'm here to do something special with my time here on earth, and I know that I will feel it or know it or sense it when I'm doing it. So everything else may feel a bit lackluster, you know, like it's not happening, like it's not really, everything's not showing up as it's supposed to for you. So our next card is adventure, because this is the opposite. And this, it feels like you're not where you want to be right now, because I also have another card here called the Thicket of Thorns. And this is, you know, you looking at the path, being a little bit confused and wondering probably why it's so dark on either side. But then there is this shaft of light. So the Thicket of Thorns, it can talk about, you know, our ability to find our way. Now my voice is becoming quite, there's a fear developing in my voice. So it's a shakiness. I'm allowing fear to rise up within me. Perhaps just at the mention of either darkness or an inability to find the way, and my thighs are gripping, my legs are gripping, because uncertainty creates more uncertainty, creates doubt, creates lack, creates scattered focus, which are all the things that we've been talking about. But if we have a look here at the adventure card, get ready, something exciting is coming any day now, which I absolutely love, and the sky is opening up. So if we have a look and we think about this forest of the Thicket of Thorns, you know, if you imagine the forest tree canopy up here and there's the sky above, it's opening up for you. So it doesn't matter what you have been experiencing in life, because part of this is going to be the experiences that you needed to experience to move through this thing and to bring whatever gift that you're bringing to others, to yourself, to the people in your life. The next card for you is Bliss. Time for you to enjoy some meditation, yoga, or go on a retreat. Now, this card to me feels quite bland. There's a lot of, like, there's a pink energy here. So, you know, love. The girl has got a pink on her, her dress. And we have the pink heart energy here as well. So perhaps you are somebody who has really, like, you have known the things that bring value to you, but maybe somebody along the line has said to you, you know, it's not worthy of your time, it's a waste of time, you'll never make any money, you know, you can't, you know, all the can't do it. And that Bliss card feels like it's almost trapped behind that thicket of thorns. There is all these things here to stop you. But I also got the word that that's an illusion. That the illusion is there for you to pass through. Like, just like the thicket of thorns looks like a dark and scary place, so the fear may come up. But that shaft of light that's coming through is spirit. The butterflies, the other animal, the deer. You know, these are all animals to guide us, and the light is guiding you. So the light is your joy, your happiness, your peace, your calmness. So if you're doing a job or in a relationship where you are experiencing anxiety or you are experiencing fear about how to move forward with it, then this reading is telling you that that's a signal from your body to know that you're not going in the right direction, that you've turned down one of these, you know, alleyways or these paths that is full of the thickets of thorns. So this is the messages from your body to listen up to what's coming for you, because that adventure is coming for you, but you have to pay attention to the signs and symbols. Now I've got some tarot cards, and the first tarot card for you is the Three of Cups. So for me, what this is talking about is you joining in celebration with others. So I feel like you either have friends who are supportive in the things that you love to do, and they know how much joy they bring to you. And they might even be people who are already doing this. They may not. They could just be very supportive. But it's spend time with these people, okay? It's a rebalancing time for you. It is time for you to uncover or discover, or whatever word you would like to slot in here, this idea that, yeah, you may get paid for this. Not everyone, because it's not going to relate to paid work for everybody. But there will be a rebalancing. So if at the moment you're putting in more time and effort than somebody else in a relationship, then this is going to come into a redress, into a rebalance. But you have to be aware of requiring that, and, you know, and putting the effort in, particularly if it's a relationship based. If you're talking about, if this is relationship based, there is an element here of you understanding that your purpose requires you to take action, and not to sit on the sidelines waiting for the crumbs, which is, you know, what these two people here could be doing. I'm not saying they are. But you are required to take action to make this rebalance for you, to get to the adventure, to get to the bliss. Now, the card in the middle is sitting right underneath our artwork. And I'm going to place it there so that you can see it. So we've got similar colours. We've got the red happening, and the red is the standout colour. But then we've got the oranges and the yellows too. It's the Three of Wands, and the wands are all about passion, excitement, our desires, where we want to go in life. And this card is generally a card of talking about, you know, having plans, but perhaps they're a little bit delayed. Perhaps you haven't seen the results, or the results of your action. The fact that this card is in the reverse, it kind of is talking to me today about perhaps a reassessment, particularly the fact that it's next to this one here. A reevaluation of the goals and the dreams that you've had, because maybe you're somebody who hasn't been able to dream big yet. Maybe your anxiety or the fear level that we talked about before is something that has held you back, has stopped you from actually really dreaming big and having that big desire and dream for the thing that you really want. And again, my hips are pulling in, not as much as they did before. But I also feel like you are someone who feels like you may have had to do this all on your own. And I feel like the fact that she's in the reverse, like sometimes that's going to be, you know, it's going to have a negative, because she's awesome. You know, she's self-reliance and self-worth and belief in herself. She can do everything herself. This is a male or a female, it doesn't matter. But in the reverse here, it feels like I'm getting the message for you. You don't have to do this all on your own. So that doesn't mean that someone's going to do everything for you. But what it does mean is that there's going to be more of a hand from spirit here for you. There's going to be much more assistance. This could be the friends that we talked to up here. This could be the rebalancing of energies in your life in some way, shape or form. The adventure is coming. The bliss is coming. And even though you can do it all on your own, you don't want to, because then it may not feel like bliss. It may not feel like fun. So, you know, share the joy. Rebalance these things. Don't feel like you have to do this all on your own. Okay, so we have 3 cards for you for guidance from Spirit today. And our first is the vein, which has a hair and honey in it. So just looking at that, the rabbit is really drawing my eye. So I talked before about the fact that you may have had a goal that you felt like you weren't able to identify with or to establish a really strong connection to, because it may have felt too big. It may have felt too big. It may have been too sweet for you to imagine that you could achieve it. And this is Spirit saying that, you know, that golden honey is coming into your life. That sweetness is there for you. And that new beginning, this new goal, because maybe you've had it and it feels small to me. It feels like it's in the corner of my mind. Whereas now it's like you're able to expand the vision, and the vision just keeps getting bigger and bolder and brighter, which I absolutely love. Again, we have they're all cards from the same particular deck, which is the Druid Plant Oracle. And this is heather in the reverse. And heather is a beautiful plant, and there are bees and there is community in this particular card. You may feel estranged from a community. This could be family, this could be some friends. It's not everybody, because I do feel like you've got your tribe, or you're assembling them, you're finding them. They're coming, they're on their way. The bliss is coming, pile number 1. But there may be an estrangement from some aspects of community. So this feels like a temporary aspect for some of you. The bee is all about community. It's all about working together. It's about working hard generally too. And we've got the dual, you know, we've got the results of the bee here in the upright, and then we've got this reversed, which is more about community. So perhaps you're feeling a little bit estranged from some people in your own community. And then the last one is chamomile, which feels beautiful, because see that beautiful golden light? We've got a lot of, like, gold is coming in for you quite brightly. There is a sort of goldy orange colour in the artwork as well. That are sort of sections of that. But that beautiful gold that's right in the centre of that flower, it's like the visioning, the envisagement, but it's you holding space for your vision and allowing it to come into your life and letting it flower, letting it grow, letting it have its seasons too. So if you notice this beautiful chamomile flower, there are some that are in bud, there are some that are spent, there are some that are closed, and there are some that are open. So we really want to understand And it's also sheltered. It's in this sheltered environment. So there's been some space held there for you from either spirit, source, or other people that are around you. But notice that there are all of these seasons for this flower. And so that is an important part, because it's not all going to be the big burst of the flower in its purity and in its heyday. There's going to be moments where there's some bursting forth and open, and they're bright and cheery and beautiful, and there are some dying off. So all of these things happen at the same time. So I think I talked about yours, which is, you know, that you might be distracted easily and that you might be scattered with your energy. And this is bringing this full circle for me, because it's understanding that you're never going to have it all completely under control. Because you may be, like me, you know, someone who would like to have it all sorted out, but you're never going to have that. So if you can stay in appreciation of this beautiful flowering of your purpose, then you're going to go with it and sort of move with the flow. You'll have the adventure that this is meant to bring in your life. You'll allow your own emotions to settle. You'll allow spirit to come in. We've got the water, which is quite beautiful and relaxed. It's quite a nice flow. The sky is open and bright. The earth, Mother Earth, is surrounding us. You know, we've got all of the elements here that we need. There's air there. There's a gentle movement of the clouds. So, and there's the beautiful ripening of the crabapple or the apple above. So this chamomile, and chamomile is very, very soothing. So this bliss, this adventure that you're on, you know, it's one to enjoy every part of it and not to want to skip ahead, which I really understand that feeling, pile number one, but not to skip ahead, because there is this wonderful purpose for you to you know, be emboldened by in your life. There is this wonderful, dynamic, creative, blissful life that you are living, but all of the parts make up the whole. So try not to be too down on yourself when you don't feel like you're, you know, in it, when you don't feel like your purpose is here, is talking to you, etc., etc., etc. I hope you've enjoyed this pile number one. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up. And please let me know in the comments below what you thought of this particular style, because it is something that is close to my heart, because I'm working with the creative energies of spirit in my artworks, and you can see them behind me. It feels like I'm stepping into more of my purpose today, so I really feel like I'm kind of aligned with you, pile number one. Please let me know what you thought, and please follow me over on Facebook if you'd like to win a private reading with me. I'm tripping all over my words. Thanks for being here all the way to the end. See you in the future. Bye for now. Hi there, pile number two. This is your image that you've selected today, and this is your pick a card reading about what you want, what you need to hear. Now, your pile is very interesting because the imagery was made to go that way, and I quite like it that way. However, I was directed to move it and turn it upside down. So there's something in that for you. There's something within what's going on for you at the moment, which maybe feels like it's turned upside down, or it feels disheveled, it feels scattered. You know, there's a lot of words I could use there for you, pile number two, where things feel chaotic. There's another word, extreme. Haphazard, you know what I mean? Like, there doesn't feel like to be any rhyme or reason. So perhaps this is in one particular area in your life, but for some of you, this could feel like all areas of your life. And it's like you have got an idea, or, you know, there felt like there was some clarity, and then it just disappeared. And it's like you're grasping at straws. There's this coming in, and there's that coming in, and then, oh, look, there's another thing coming in. And I remember when I was doing this one, that there was, you know, an underlayer which was very restrictive, and it felt like a pattern, and it, you know, like someone was really watching over my shoulder. Don't do the wrong thing here. Don't do the wrong thing here. And I really felt that constraint. So you may be feeling constrained in your life, and I feel like that kind of makes a lot of sense. And this idea of something being turned over or turned upside down or turned under, there's something going on for you there too. Now, some interesting cards have come up for you. And when I say interesting, you just might want to laugh out loud, because, you know, that generally means there's something pretty big going on in your life at the moment. And I feel that's what I'm talking about. Now, because it's a group reading, some people will have a small thing going on that feels like it's just disrupting everything. And then there'll be some of you who are listening to this and their life feels like it's turned upside down. So our two cards are creation and divinity. Now, on their own, without reading what's going on, creation and divinity, that, you know, they're big topics, they're big things happening. To create, you need to go through a voidal door. Now that, that's like a smack in the face with a big wet fish, really. That's like, you know, a night of the dark night of the soul kind of, it doesn't feel as like that. This is more of a shock or a surprise or a, oh shit, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. And now I've got really hot in my body too. So to create this new phase in your life, which there is a new phase, and I'll get to that card in a minute, but you are going through a very pivotal time in your life. You're going through, now there's a lot of heat coming up in my head, particularly around the sides here, around the ears. So it could be, the words are trauma, this could be family stuff. Yep, that's what it feels like. So going through a voidal door here, so really big transformation around those things for you, and a creation of a new cycle and a new way of being in some of those areas. Divinity, birth of a new child or something special is arriving. Now, you know, a new child, that may relate to some of you, but for most of you it won't. But the birth of something new is coming in. And I love the pink flowers. Trying to think of the flower, but it's not coming to me, so it obviously is not important. But you might notice what they are. But that idea of birthing something new, and it's coming from a circle, so it feels like there's a completeness to it. So perhaps this new thing that comes in will feel, you know, like it's completing something for you. And we do have that creation card as well. We have Daffodil Fairy, New Beginning, so lovely bright yellow energy coming in. Air Spirit with knowledge, and I love how that the airship is floating through the sky, so it's almost like, now I don't want to push you too much into the mental realm. I don't feel like you're a huge person who likes to stay in the head, but I do feel like there is some pull there. So I want you to be careful. But the air energy is lovely because it glides you over problems, and I really have that feeling with the knowledge card. But we're looking at some new beginnings, and that's really very interesting because we're looking at a 10 to a 1. Okay, so things that seemed very important and overwhelming and taking up a lot of your time, they're being distilled down into one important thing. So I like that for you. So I did talk about you feeling scattered. So perhaps you're going from, you know, too many things going on, too many things pulling your awareness and your attention from what's important to you. And perhaps it is that you've been listening to other people tell you what's important to you, because that's how I felt when I was making this in the beginning. I felt like I was making this according to somebody else's pattern, somebody else's opinion over my shoulder. I was being driven by them. And then, very interestingly, and I'm saying it again, so it's important, it was made this way, and it's been asked to turn itself upside down. So the thing, perhaps you're living your rules, you know, this could be a parental figure, this could be a partner, or a boss, or even, you know, this could be a way of thinking that you have had, and you're you've been living your life a certain way, and maybe you're thinking to yourself, why am I working towards that? Is that what I really truly want? And I've got some cards here that sort of reiterate these particular messages. So we have the star and we have the armor. So the armor there is that feeling of being constrained, perhaps wanting to protect yourself because you haven't been certain of what you wanted. And I think that makes a lot of sense for you, pile number 2, particularly with the star reversed. The star for me feels very directional. Stars are, you know, compass points. It has that feeling of the compass point. It also directional, you know, finding your own true north, your own North Star, all those kinds of things come up with this card. It's also got the circles around it, so it's like a target. So that makes a lot of sense too with this new beginnings, with the knowledge. We went from a 10, which is scattered energy, to the 1, which is focused energy. I'm focusing on me and my stuff. I'm focusing on where I want to go, my heart's desire, all of that stuff. And that is the thing that's lifting me up and over. Instead of being protective of my energy and focusing on other people and what they might want or how I feel they want me to move forward, because that's what it feels like. It feels like someone's watching over me and giving me instructions, and I really don't like that. I have quite a rebelliousness inside me, and I don't like that idea, and I don't like that feeling for you. And I didn't like the start of that, working with the start of that image, because I felt like I was being watched, and I really don't like that feeling. You know, it's just distasteful. The Sun, this is about your solar plexus. This is about you and your will, and it is in the upright. You are learning some valuable lessons when you're going through this voidal door, which I hadn't read that card before today, because I often don't look at when I'm using them for myself or in a reading, I often don't read what they say. So I probably should, because it might give me some more information. But you're really working with your own solar plexus, your own desire, and also your sacral. So we do have the oranges here, oranges and the reds. So you're working with your own desires for your life, and that's where this creation energy is coming through too, because you're creating the life of your dreams, but only when you choose to, not if you sit and then listen to this other person over your shoulder. There's the birds on top of this house up there too. And again, so this is, your house is you. The house is also probably your house or your apartment or whatever. The house is here, has nothing in it. It is the shell of a house. It is the promise of what a house could be, or a home could be, or you could be. Now, again, the birds at the top, I'm taking them as critical birds. Don't know why, that's just the way they're showing up for me. So again, I want you to be really aware of you allowing other people's criticisms to affect you. You're going through quite a healing time. And like I said, the smack in the face with the wet fish kind of thing, you're going through a healing time. That's what the Temperance card is all about. It's about balancing and rebalancing. It is about dipping your toe into your emotional waters and allowing them to come up. And I'm feeling my hips tighten. So, you know, that belief that you can't handle your own emotions, that you can't handle stuff. Perhaps you've been told, you know, by this energy over your shoulder, you're not good enough, you can't handle this, whatever that thing is. This is a breaking of the mold of you living your life for somebody else. The moon is in the reverse here. This is you keeping yourself a secret from other people, from your life. You know, this is the vacant house. This is the shell of you. The moon is telling you you've got so many secrets. It's about allowing them to come up. It's about understanding that your emotional intensity, your emotions, the stuff that's coming up for you is not meant for you to carry on your own. Sure, there's, you know, you're meant to deal with it. But if this person over the shoulder is so important in your life, then why the hell are they not listening to what's going on for you? Why are they not asking you what you want? Why are they telling you how to proceed in life? Why are they being an authority figure? Or, now my head is just completely at sea now, you know, like like the air spirit, it's completely at sea. But that's the water element. We won't get justice unless we actually, a part of me wants to say put my foot down, but you know, I don't know if that's me in my mind, but it's a rebalancing here. You have to share your secrets. You have to put this right, but putting it right is you asserting who you are. Now, it's not you asserting your own authority. It is not you shouting down another. It is asserting who you are and why you do things, because that's important. You won't be able to let go of the armor and step into who you are until you do that, until you stop feeling that there's guilt, there's shame around this, okay? Your North Star, your direction won't come for you until you can be honest and true with yourself. And when you're honest and true with yourself, it means you're very comfortable with who you are, and it means that those three birds that are sitting up the top, we've also got 3 different windows. So they could be people in your life, those aspects of the self, whatever they are for you. It's about telling them to F off, really, in a nice, kind, gentle way. It's about letting them know that it's not appropriate for them to be telling you how to live your life. Now, depending on, you know, where you are in life, there may be some of you who, you know, I'm talking about, and it may be a parent and you're still in their house, and, you know, there's asserting our authority and our boundaries, and then there is an abusive relationship, and we don't want to step into that, because, you know, the Justice card could be here telling you that, you know, when you are rebalancing, don't overstep the mark, don't go into their territory. Their territory, you know, does not feel good. Their territory makes you feel unsafe. So you don't want to, you know, revisit those sins and have that way of being turn into you, because that's not who you are. You're moving into this new beginning and this new knowing for yourself. And yes, you may be going through that dark night of the soul. You may be having to unbreak a lot of patterns in your life. And I have quite a headache for you. I have a really strong headache. But these new beginnings are you finding yourself. And that's really important. Now, the guidance from Spirit is coming in here. And we have clover. Now, we have this beautiful healing pool. And it feels like a sacred pool to me. Now, I'm going to get the book in a second and I'm going to read it, because I think we've got salmon in the water there, and salmon is one of the oldest in the Druid culture. The animal, there was 4 old animals, and they're filled with knowledge. Now, the pool, the pool is a very sacred pool. We've got the clover nearby, and the clover, you know, we've got that lucky clover. And we've got the little fruits of the clover. It's in full bloom. But if you look at this card, we have this beautiful, 2 beautiful rocks, and then we have this pouring of emotions, because the water is our emotions. Now, it feels like this water and this emotions for you has been withheld, held onto, whatever you want to, you know, however you would like to describe it for yourself. It feels constrained, and I think I used that word up there before, because you've been holding on to this semblance of holding on, of remaining a certain way, perhaps for this person that's been looking over your shoulder for a really long time. So here is the card, and it's all about wisdom, health, and good fortune. Since records began, good luck has been said to come to those who find a 4-leaf clover. It is extremely auspicious to draw this card in a reading, and it may well indicate that you're about to experience good fortune. In Sussex folklore, the 4 leaves of a lucky clover were said to represent fame, wealth, good luck, and a faithful lover. And perhaps one or more of these will come to you. The old phrase, lying in clover, meant living in luxury, and that it is possible that you'll be able to enjoy a standard of living or lifestyle that you have long dreamed about but never quite attained. To dream of clover is considered a portent of good fortune and good health, and the wise And the wise understand that the greatest of wealth, so I'm just having to take a few deep breaths here for you. The wise understand that the greatest of health and the greatest of wealth. Isn't that interesting? I keep reading the wrong words. The wise understand that the greatest wealth is found not in money, but in good health. If we can find wisdom as well as health, then we can bask in good fortune, regardless of how much money we have. The well of seer gas, shown on the card, is considered by Druids to be the source of wisdom. From this source, they refresh their bodies and their spirits. I love that for you. So look, this, you know, this is talking about luck, health, wisdom. So for me, what we're looking at is you allowing your emotional stuff that you've been keeping locked up because of this person who is probably, you know, overseeing your life to some degree. This is a sacred pool. This is for you, it's an opening up. It's the doorway. It's that voidal doorway for you to understand that great wisdom, health, and luck is available to you when you open yourself up to your own wisdom, to your own senses, to who you are as a person, and that this sacred pool is very, very important for you. It's the new beginning that you're looking for. It's the Temperance card, you know, the sacred pool, this idea of healing, this idea of health and wealth and good luck. And the wisdom, I just love it for you. But it's like I can't express how it works for you, which I find very interesting, because perhaps if I am to say how it works for you, then I dispel that magic that is available through the clover, through this mystical pool for you. But I want you to know that you're in this cycle, that you're in this moment, that you're working within this, even though it doesn't feel that great. You are heading towards this mystical pool. Perhaps you want to imagine yourself in the mystical pool. I hope you've enjoyed this new style of reading that I have, even though your reading has probably not been that, you know, enjoyable. There is some stuff that you're working on, and there's, you know, some work to do. But your ability to work through it is clearly here in this reading. So if you have enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Please let me know what you thought of this new format, because it's very close to my own heart, and this is where you're moving into a much more heart-focused, you know, focusing on your heart and what you want and not somebody else. If you have enjoyed this, please make sure that you follow my channel or subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you're following me on Facebook for your chance to win a private reading with me each week, and I will see you in the future. Bye for now. Hi there, pile number 3. This is your image today. And you've made your selection about this pile from this particular image. And while I was making this image, I remember there was a lot of heart energy going on. And we also have a 5-pointed star in there, which is 5 is a number about emotional stability and the emotional realm. And the 5-pointed star I actually don't know that much about, so you might want to look it up. It is in the right, the upward position. So it could symbol sort of paganism. But there also felt like there was a diva within this particular one. It's a bit harder to see now, but there is a little head and there is a body here. And you also notice that the lines in this one are very different from the other two. They were much more bolder and stronger, whereas these had a fluidness to them. So we're talking about heart energy. It feels like we're talking about relationships and probably romance, because my first card for you is about romance. It says someone is thinking of you in a romantic way. And we have all that beautiful red in this card, or it's a sort of a pinky, russety kind of colour. But this idea of heart energy is very strong for this group. There feels like there's a lot of indecision. There feels like my pelvic area is really tightening up. So perhaps choices, decisions about relationships or romance or about a particular relationship are really quite, you know, are your focal point at the moment. So I will be talking a lot about relationship, and if you can't think of a relationship, then this probably, you know, this may not relate to you, but it could relate to another area of life, but it feels very relationship based for me. It's going to also be very much about your own personal relationship with self, because it feels like you're sort of there's a transformation taking place for you around relationship, around the heart, around healing, and that I'm going to bring your first card out. And, well, we've got the romance card, but this is another one of your cards here, or oracle cards, to sort of give us a picture about what's going on for you. And it's called Elves, and it's about playfulness. Now, in this, we have a person with their back to us in quite a rigid pose with their hands behind their back. Their shoulder blades are joining, and then around them is all this kind of ethereal, playful energy. However, their energy is not playful. Their energy is very much in the mind, very focused about what they're thinking, and perhaps they are focused on, you know, relationships or romance or what have you. But this person looks very serious and they do not look playful. So for me, there is too much seriousness for you around relationships. This card is a 6 as well. 6s are also about bringing things into balance. So I feel like there's a message here for you that perhaps you've been very serious in your relationships in the past, or perhaps you still are. You are transcending it though, and I absolutely love this. And you have two, you know, what we would call mythical beings. You've got Pegasus and you've got elves. So they're things that, you know, our regular brain would say don't exist. So I feel like that's super important for you, because there is a childlike trust that perhaps was broken in childhood that feels like wants to be rekindled, wants to open back up again, wants to expand, rather than have this closed down version of, you know, no play, seriousness, trying to think through problems, trying to discern whether this thing is right for me or that thing is right for me, this person is right for me or not. And perhaps there's an element of judgment, which is one of our next cards. So now we've got some tarot to further explain this. And we've got the Page of Cups reversed, and the Page of Cups is about magic, love, fun. So it's in the reverse. So again, perhaps this is talking about your serious nature and your want or your need to judge a situation, because the Judgment card is about acceptance. It is about awakening and assessment of the situation, but not looking through judgmental eyes, not looking through, you know, the lenses that we might have from childhood, because yours seem very serious, pile number 3. Your ability to allow love to come in may be quite hampered by this serious nature, this ability to want to, or this feeling within you to want to get it right, to make sure that it's perfect, to get a big tick from somebody else. You know, the Page of Cups is that really wonderful kind of energy that shows up with a surprise. You know, there's the fish in the goblet there. So the fish in the goblet is all about expecting the unexpected, but it's in the reverse for you. So for me, this is telling me about the serious nature of you, and that even when the fish in the goblet shows up, you're doubting it, you're judging it, you're wanting to find fault with it, and not wanting to see the worth in it or what it might bring for you. Now, the next cards under here for you, which are tarot, are the Page of Pentacles and then the Four of Swords. So the Page of Pentacles could talk about this being a new relationship, could talk about you understanding it in a different way, because, you know, perhaps you've been in a relationship for a long time and there has been some struggle in this relationship, and perhaps there's a new door, a new window, a new area opening up that you haven't been able to see, or there was a restricted view of it, and now you're able to start seeing it. I feel like it's like, you know, there's a need to sort of have some rest periods here, because I feel like you need to, now again, my hips are tightening around this group. So it's like you need to rest and recover so that you don't mentally exhaust, you know, your mind, to the Four of Swords here. Four of Swords are all about our thinking, the air element. So I feel like with that first card, or the playfulness card, that you are a thinker. You know, you're very much used to being able to think your way clear of something. But I think this is that you're being asked to transcend that way of doing in your life, which is very much the Page of Pentacles, starting out on a different way of doing something. So the next cards we have are all from the Goddess and Sirens, and you have some bang out of the park kind of energy going on, and it's all very sexual, it's all very, you know, relationship based. We have Sheila Nagig talking about a gateway, and Sheila Nagig is a gateway through sensuality, but it's on all sorts of levels. So you might want to have a look up at Sheila Nagig, but she's very bold and, you know, she's in your face. So there might be an element of this relationship that is in your face, pile number 3. And I feel like your boundaries are being, you know, they're being confronted. It feels like you're quite enmeshed in your own boundaries and you're quite safe there. So I feel like this gateways, it's a blossoming and an opening of something, but it doesn't feel very safe to you. We have irresistibility with Freya, and she is a Norse god, and she and the Valkyries would go and bring, you know, carry the dead, or half of the dead. Odin would take the others, and Freya would carry the dead and her Valkyries, but men would still want her even when they were dead. And this is a sign that this relationship that you're in, there is this aspect about you that you are unaware of, your own irresistibility. And she is also another very sexualized goddess. You know, her power was her sexuality. So perhaps you're unaware of your own ability when it comes to this sort of thing. Perhaps you're not seeing your own sensual side in your relationship, which again, now I'm feeling that imbalance in my hips. So perhaps you're afraid of it. Perhaps you're not comfortable with it, which would make a lot of sense when I look at this image, because this image started off being very much heart-based. So it's about being comfortable in your own heart space, but then there's this other stuff that you're not comfortable with, and more boundaries came in, and more straight lines, and, you know, yeah, more boundary stuff came up for you here, and not the playfulness of the heart. So perhaps this sort of sensuality of yourself is an area where you feel uncomfortable, you know. And now we've got Nuit, or Nut. I don't know how to say this goddess's name. And she's all about expansiveness. And I think she's the sky. She is, so I love that for you, really, because we're talking a lot about air. We've got Pegasus, you know, transcending through air. But perhaps this is more about using, you know, using the air rather than to think always. You know, the power of air is through its breeze, because it lifts things and it lets things move. Yeah. So I'm going to read a little bit from this one, because it was really, really apt. It is a thinking card. So Nut, or Nuit, it's time to think big. There are unlimited possibilities. Mystery is a natural part of life. It is fine not to know every detail before proceeding. You are a star in your own right. And she is the sky, and the energy is as big and as wide as the universe and as bright as a star. I love that. And she asks us to share the infinite and expand accordingly. And I feel that's what your heart energy is doing in this process of this relationship, whether it's your relationship with yourself or with another. You're having to expand your own beliefs around, you know, what heart energy is and your ability to accept another into your heart fully. And expand yourself to embrace more possibilities. Whilst many of us are fearful to expand and take risks in that growth, Nuit encourages travelling forward with a strong intention anyway. When you are feeling small, when you are feeling stuck in the tiny details, when you feel that there is no place in the world for you, Nuit is the perfect goddess to assist you to find relief. She is also encouraging to those who feel that they need to have all the answers, which can be exhausting for you on all levels. Not knowing actually leads to growth too. The idea that there are some things that should stay unexplained due to the beauty of the mystery is very much one that Nuit champions. And I feel like this is the message here from these beautiful goddesses for you. That the mystery is involved in what you're doing. You know, there is this gateway opening up for you. There is your own sexuality, your own sensuality is being triggered or being opened up or something like that. And you are expanding. But you can't have it all explained to you, and it can't be, you know, in a neat package. It's more expansive than that. It's more opening up. And, you know, this card really does sort of look at that opening up. There is a deepening of this. There could also be phallic symbols in that, that imagery. Now, the next cards are guidance from Spirit for you. And we have mistletoe first, which is, this is symbolised as midwinter. So this is the time of the sort of like the saying goodbye to the light and allowing the dark phase to come in, and then moving into, you know, into the light, into, and then this idea of the gateway is coming here again, that this is a passageway. It is this idea that you don't have to have it all sorted out, that you're, you know, maybe floundering in the darkness while everything's moving around you, is a passage, is a gateway for you to then think to yourself, maybe I need to surrender more, surrender into the light. Now, the other thing is that the mistletoe berries are a cure-all, or were seen as a cure-all to the Druids. So the fact that they're showing up, these were ingested on the eve of, you know, the winter solstice, I think it is, and they were ingested, and then we've got that opening up to the light again. We're expanding, which we've talked about, where we're preparing for that new phase and moving into a very different space. We're leaving the darkness behind, but we're keeping all the lessons that we've learned, and we're taking them into this unknown territory for us, and that feels quite big for you. And the next message from Spirit here about guidance is the wheat, and wheat is all about abundance. It's about harvest. It's about you feeling really happy with where you are. Everything's blossoming and blooming, and there is, you know, the wheat field is filled with a harvest that you can reap, that you can benefit from in the time to come. It's not about a temporary thing. It's not about it's not just happening in the now moment, which the mistletoe is very much about. It's very much about the now moment, but this is about the harvest to continue into your life, which I really, really love for you, pile number 3. We've also got what look like daisies in this picture, or what are they called? Dandelions. So there might be a bittersweet element to the harvest for you, because perhaps, you know, you've had to let something go, which could be your ideals, which could be your belief that everything had to tick all the boxes, that it had to be perfect. I don't know what these things are, but what the message for you, pile number 3, is that you're expanding and growing through this relationship. There's much more in this relationship for you to grow and expand with too. It's about being in the moment, the mistletoe, be in the moment in this relationship, but understand that it's expanding and growing, and so are you in this phase of your life, which I absolutely love. So much growth around the heart for you, pile number 3. So if you would like to see how the image was made, there'll be a video in the description box below. If you would like to follow me over on Facebook, where you can go into the draw for a private reading, then there's also a link in the description box below. Please let me know what you thought in the comments of this new way of reading using the imagery. It's very much aligning to my purpose in life, which is bringing creativity into my readings and into my intuitive work. And I will see you again in the future. Bye for now.